Hello, this is Tony Vance with another episode of Verses I Love here on our YouTube channel. Also, like to say hi to our Twitter followers and Facebook friends and everybody that's commented to me that they've watched the videos. We appreciate it. And we've got a new one today. It's found in Luke chapter 2, and unusually I'm going to read about 6 verses. It's Luke chapter 2, starting at verse 25. And behold, there was a man in Jerusalem whose name was Simeon, and the same was a just and devout, waiting for the consolation of Israel, and the Holy Ghost was upon him. And it was revealed unto him by the Holy Ghost that he should not see death before he had seen the Lord's Christ. And he came by the Spirit into the temple, and when the parents brought in the child Jesus to do for him after the custom of the law, then took him up in his arms, and blessed God, and said, Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace according to thy word. For mine eyes have seen thy salvation. And actually goes on to say a few more things that Simeon said, and actually talks about Mary and Joseph being amazed and marveled, is the word used in the King James, at the things that were spoken by Simeon. We don't know much about Simeon other than this small little part here in Luke chapter 2, that he was somebody that God had promised. What a great promise. God had promised that he wouldn't die until he had seen the Lord's Christ, or the anointed, chosen Messiah that God had chosen to deliver the children of Israel. And actually goes on to say in the 32nd verse, a light even to the Gentiles. But the part that I think is so amazing about this is how that God had led everybody involved in this episode, if you will, to the place where they were. Mary and Joseph, of course, Jesus being with them as a child. Mary and Joseph going to the temple to do what the customs and the laws required them to do. You can just imagine as they were walking around, were they trying to figure out where they should go, who they should see, and like anybody would in a situation like that. And along comes this old man, and you almost have to believe it's an old man, God promising not to let him die until he had seen the Lord's Christ. And he comes upon this young couple with a child, and God shows him that this is the one. And you know, there's a passage in one of the epistles that talks about how that, and I think it was John said that we handled the word of life. We were able to touch God in Jesus Christ, and you can only begin to believe that Simeon was just blown away, if that's the proper word I'm looking for, by this opportunity to see this child. And he says here in this 29th verse, then took he him up in his arms, and blessed God, and said, Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace according to thy word. And verse 30 says, for mine eyes have seen thy salvation. And I like what he says there. He's seen salvation, not the one that's going to bring salvation, not the one that will produce salvation, not the one that will lead to salvation, but the one who is salvation. Luke chapter 2, verse 25 through verse 30.